Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And so today we're going to be talking about manifestation. So manifestation is a very popular, trendy term. You hear it a lot, especially nowadays. But what even is it? It's not magic, and it's not just simply speaking something into existence. It's actually neuroscience. So if you want to learn how to use biology to your advantage, then sit down and let's have a meeting. Start off by saying I'm not a neuroscientist, obviously, but I did do a little bit of research. So I'm going to start off by talking about something called your reticular activating system, or as I'm going to be referring to it, your RAS. So what is your reticular activating system? Basically, if you visualize the brain, you have the actual brain, and then there's a stem going up to it. And so your RAS is a cluster of neurons in the top of that brainstem right before your actual brain starts. So the purpose of your RAS is to decide what information to send to your conscious awareness based off of what's important to you. So your goals, your beliefs, your survival needs, all of the stuff like that. So that's actually why you can be in a super crowded public place, maybe a restaurant or something like that, and people are talking all around you, and you're not really hearing anything they're saying, but you can hear the talking. But if somebody says your name quietly off in the distance, your brain is gonna lock in on that conversation, because it's like, that's my name, that's important. So it's sending that, it hears that information that's important, which is your name, and it's sending that into your conscious awareness. Every other thing that the people are saying around you isn't important, so it's not being sent to your conscious awareness, so you're not hearing it and toning in on it. So what this means in terms of manifestation is, if you have a goal that you're serious about, so you can't have a goal that you're like, oh, that would be fun to do, that would be nice if I went to the gym every day, and you're not actually serious about it, your brain knows that it's not important to you. So it's not going to highlight those opportunities that are going to make you go to the gym. And you're not going to be reminded of it, and you're not going to keep thinking about it. It's just, your brain isn't going to highlight that goal. But if you're really serious about a goal, your brain's going to be like, okay, you're driving past a new gym, highlighted. You see a gym video on TikTok, highlighted. Your friend is telling you about the gym, highlighted. That's why manifestation isn't actually speaking something into existence, but when you manifest, so when you have something that you're serious about and you believe you can do and you're convinced that you're gonna do it, your brain is gonna highlight every single opportunity about that. So now not only are you seeing opportunities that were probably always there, but you're also having the courage to do them because you have so much belief in yourself that you believe you can do it. So now you're seeing the opportunity and you're also taking it. Manifesting requires something called neuroplasticity, and that's a big fancy term. If you look it up on Google, the dictionary definition is big and fancy and makes no sense to me, but it's basically your brain's ability to restructure nerve connections depending on your needs and your environment. A good example is if somebody has suffered a stroke, it's them relearning how to walk. There is a phrase, nerves that fire together, wire together. Nerves are linked to very specific thoughts and actions. So when you have multiple nerves that are linked to those thoughts and actions, they are linked together, they're connected together by something called synapses. A bunch of those nerves that are all specific to that one thought or action, like maybe it's your goal of going to the gym, they connect together and form basically a big ball of nerves called neural circuits. So every time you think that thought or do that action, every time you go to the gym, those synapses are gonna activate, they're gonna fire. And every time those synapses fire, they get stronger and more efficient. So it would become mentally easier to go to the gym, and that's how habits are formed. When you manipulate your RAS, you think about those thoughts or that action more often, which leads to those stronger nerve circuits. So how do you manipulate your RAS? You can go about this many different ways, but the first step is always going to be, you have to define what you want very clearly. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to save money. You have to have a specific amount you want to save and a specific time you want it saved by. So option number one is going to be visualizing your goal in depth. I would go about this using the 5 senses. So if maybe your goal is to go to the gym, or obviously more specific, but if you have a goal about going to the gym, you can literally turn on a background video that's just gym noise, and then close your eyes and just imagine yourself at the gym working out. Option number 2 is going to be setting very specific goals. I know I already said to set specific goals, but this one is very specific. So if you ever heard SMART goals, I feel like we all learned it in like elementary school. It reminds us of elementary school. It sounds silly to some people, but it's a very good way to structure them. If you don't know SMART goals, the S stands for specific. Like I said earlier, it wouldn't just be I want to save money, because that's not specific. The M in SMART stands for measurable, which just means that your goal is something you can track. So this could be dollars a day, pounds lost per week, videos posted per day. Just give it a number. And then the A in SMART stands for achievable or attainable. So all that means is that you want this goal to be challenging but possible. So don't make a goal that you want to be famous. Or even if it's very specific and fits all the other categories, if it's something related to being famous, like you can't just go straight to being famous, like baby steps. So the R is going to be relevant, and it's kind of similar to achievable, but it's mainly focusing on, is this goal realistic to me personally? So you might have a goal that's like, I want to go to the gym for an hour Monday through Friday, which is a realistic goal for a lot of people. But if you're someone who's super duper busy, just has a lot going on in their life, that goal might not be realistic for you as an individual. So the T is going to stand for time bound, which basically means have a deadline. So even if this is a goal that you want to do every day for the rest of your life, don't not give it a deadline just because you want to do it every day. Like, you can do it every day for the rest of your life, but have a deadline to check in and reevaluate. Is this working for me? Is there anything I need to change? It's also kind of like, you know how if you have a project or something that's due, you have a whole month to do it, you're not going to do it because there's no deadline coming up. Until there's like 3 days left, you're going to rush and get it done. So when you actually have a deadline, it'll make you like realize, it'll clock to you that I need to get this done. When you don't have a deadline, you can kind of gaslight yourself into being like, I don't have to do this right now because it's not due yet. It's technically true, but it's never due, so you're never gonna do it. This isn't technically in the abbreviation for SMART, but a lot of people like to add a P on the end just for positivity. You want to have your goals centered around something positive or something that's going to make you happy, because if you don't, like, you're just not going to want to do it and not going to have any motivation. And like, yes, you shouldn't rely on any motivation. Also, you don't want to make yourself do something that's just going to make you upset consistently. No, you're not always going to want to do something you have to work for, but you don't want to have it just make you depressed. Speaking of positivity, number 3 is going to be counting as many yays in your day as possible. So if your goal is related to anything like having a better mindset, being more positive, anything like that, this is going to really help you, because it's like counting as many yays as possible, or just yays being like good things. Counting those and pointing those out is gonna activate that RAS I was talking about earlier. So this is manipulating your RAS because you are consciously deciding what to send your selective attention and what to think about consistently, which in turn is going to strengthen that neurocircuit of positivity, because you're thinking positive thoughts over and over and over, which is gonna strengthen that neural circuit and form the habit of positive thinking. Number 4 is HIIT workouts, or high intensity interval training. So what this is, it's a hard, like a very intense, difficult workout for a short amount of time. So maybe like full on like sprinting for 2 minutes straight. So it's a short time period, followed by another short time period of rest. So this could be like sprinting for 2 minutes, or maybe 1 minute, and then resting and just doing a slow walk for 1 minute. And then you would repeat this for 10 to 20 minutes or so. So how this helps your RAS is it activates essential neurotransmitters that help your RAS thrive. So I think the ones that I saw when I was doing my research were dopamine and noradrenaline, I believe. These type of workouts also increase something called blood lactates, which fulfills your RAS energy demands. Number 5 is going to be having very detailed and specific gratitude sessions. So if you want to just generally be more positive, you can just have a general gratitude session, or you can also center the gratitude around your goal. So if your goal is going to the gym, you can write down, like if you're journaling, that's a perfect way to do it. Or you can just have gratitude about, I'm so grateful that I have a body I get to move in. I'm so grateful that I have all this food that nourishes me. Everything that I was just talking about for the past 10 minutes simplified, you want to have a specific goal that you're serious about, so your brain will know that it's important and send it to your selective attention, which will make you think about it more or do the action more, which will strengthen that neural circuit and form that habit. I will say that there are many conditions that can dysregulate your reticular activating system. That's a mouthful. But there are a lot of those conditions. So if you're watching this video and being like, okay, well, I do that and it's not working for me, I would, if you suspect you have a condition or you know you do have one, I would look into that and do some research on how it could affect that. Because there are a lot of them, but one, it's just too many for me to talk about and address, and two, I'm not a doctor. So that was all of the research that I gathered. It was a little bit of a shorter video than I normally make. So if you enjoyed this video, I would love if you liked and subscribed. My channel does focus on self-growth, on mindset, on loving yourself, all of that stuff. That was a very fun video to make. It was really interesting to research all that, and I hope you had fun watching it. Bye, guys.